Hello, namaskar, good morning. I'm up here at around quarter past 4. It's January the 7th, Wednesday morning, 2024. It's a very pleasant, quiet morning, and I get up to read a little. And I'm reading from the Hindu book. It's called Sannyas Principles and Practices. This deals with Hindu monasticism. The sannyas is a Hindu monk. Sannyasini is a female Hindu nun. Sometimes the sannyasis they might be wandering ascetics. They don't stay more than 3 days in one place, or they might be resident. They belong to a monastic order, or they stay in the monastery ashrams, communities, or there are different kinds of sannyasi. There's the Dasnami, the Parivrajak, and the Paramhansa sannyasis. Now, according to the ancient books, they say a sannyasi is 1,000 times more than a brahmachari, and a brahmachari is 1,000 times more than an initiated householder. And an initiated household is 1,000 times more than the uninitiated householder. Now, I'm going to read a little that the scriptures say about monks who return to the worldly life, to the married life. They were monks before, they were sannyasis before, but they decided to return to the world to get a job, to live in the society among people who are married, worldly people, material people. Some of them marry, some of these monks will marry, and what is the consequences? These are ancient precepts laid down. These are the first monastic orders that came to the world is Hindus and the Buddhists, and according to Vivekananda, he said the Catholics. They took monasticism from Buddhism and Jainism. So let's go and see what the ancient scriptures say about those perils of returning to worldly life. It is important for an aspirant of sannyas to be certain in his resolution before taking such a life. The scriptures and Pandit are unanimous that there is no option for a sannyasi to go back to a householder life, the married life, family life, or any other kind of worldly life. To do so is considered the greatest sins, and there are no prescribed penances for purification or atonement. A sannyasi's robes are taken as a symbolism of the final stage of life, and the law of Hindus in particular, Dharma Shastras, prohibits him to give up these robes. Other scriptures caution that one who returns to a worldly life after sannyasa would be reborn either as a mouse or a worm, a vulture or a pig, or in an equivalent pitiable condition. Moreover, if at all a sannyasi marries, then that couple cannot participate in any of the activities that includes any kind of rituals. The couple are not to be invited to any social gatherings and so on. And the only occupation that was permitted to such a one in ancient times was serving the cowshed of the king or the head of state. Now let us reflect on the metaphysical and spiritual reason for such strong rebuke by the scriptures when one has taken sannyas. He is supposed to have washed away all his sin as he engages in a symbolic ritual of his own funeral. Thus, from the standpoint of ritual befitting each stage of life, he is considered as a living dead. Having entered such a stage, he cannot resurrect to the status of living. Is saying to be drawn back to worldly life and to take up an active participation in worldly matters would require an outward turned mind and a grosser mental state. But since one has realized to some degree the impermanence of all worldly pleasures, all his pursuits will lack the zest and reality that other people attribute it. In other words, the one who has relinquished sannyas lives with a cognitive disorder, a kind of split personality, a mind that has tasted the supreme reality but continues to embrace the grosser realities of life. The coexisting of such opposing mental stage and its ramification is what is effectively dissuaded by the scriptures through such harsh condemnation. Thereby, this injunction of not returning to worldly life after sannyas to deter the sannyas from not only spiritual regression but also psychological and personality crisis. So we see the value that people place on the monkhood, the monastic life, And this was the case with Gyaneshwar, son Gyaneshwar, the Maharashtra saint who was born to a monk who returned to his worldly life, his family life. But there are some cases when the guru sent people back home to the worldly life and tell them to marry and lead an example for society. I know one such case like Hariom Sharan. There's who the singer, the great singer who came to Guyana and Trinidad. He married a Guyanese. He came to Guyana. He married a Guyanese. And we know another example is Pandit Ushar Bodharia, who came to Guyana and married also. He was a Swami. Uh, Another, I think the two presidents we had of India, President Narasimha Rao and Narendra Damodar Modi, they were sannyas monks also, and they returned to the world. But Mr. Modi did not marry, and nor did Narasimha Rao did not marry. They just came in the capacity to lead society and to help the country. I know people like Krishnamurti, Jiddu Krishnamurti, not Jiddu, Krishnamacharya. He was a monk and his guru told him to return home and to marry and teach yoga in the society. So some cases where the masters instruct the disciples to marry, return home. In some cases he told the family people to leave home and to become monks. So this is the ancient monastic order of India dating back thousands, millions of years. You see, Brahma created four young children, told them to marry, procreate, but then they refused to marry and they became the four sannyas. They were Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanatan. The four Kumars. They were known as Kumars. The follower of Brahma are known as Brahma Kumars. And then he created the Rishis, the Sapta Rishis. They will protect and safeguard knowledge for the world. Whenever the world loses spiritual wisdom and people's body will start disintegrating, energy will start zapped from their body, life will be removed from, when they cannot taste and enjoy the benefits of living, then these rishis will impart knowledge to society so that these people can be resurrected and return to a wholesome and full life. So this is why they said they remain alive. Swami Vivekananda said the Sapta Rishis are alive, like Agastya Muni, who taught yoga in South India, Tantra. He also taught in Indonesia and some of the Asian countries. Statues are there, were found. So some of the according Vivekananda, Agastya is an immortal and he's still alive. Some of chapter here alive and they exist to preserve the Brahmic wisdom, spiritual wisdom, so that they can always teach and keep it, preserve it for humanity. So that's why the Brahma created the Sapta Rishis. So the legend goes, and all the followers of Brahma, they follow the Brahma Puran, the Brahma Sutras, and so on. These are the books leading with Lord Brahma, the avatars of Brahma, and so on. God consists of Trinity: generator, operator, destroyer. Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. The intellectual mind is Brahma, the emotional, devotional is Vishnu, and the ascetic, the physical man, Shiva. So this bit knowledge I'm sharing with you so early morning. Namaskar.